Former Springboks hooker Schalk Brits has lifted the lid on what drives head coach Rassie Erasmus and the current South African squad as they pursue what would be an unprecedented achievement in rugby history, winning 3 consecutive Rugby World Cup titles. In a revealing interview, Brits provided fascinating insight into the mindset and philosophy that has transformed the Springboks into the dominant force in world rugby, and explained exactly what Erasmus refuses to tolerate as success continues to follow this remarkable team. The Springboks currently sit atop World Rugby's official rankings, a position they've earned through consistently outstanding performances throughout the recent international season. Their end-of-year tour through Europe has been nothing short of spectacular, with the team systematically dismantling some of the Northern Hemisphere's strongest sides. They've already secured impressive victories over Japan in London, France in Paris, Italy in Turin, and most recently a statement win against Ireland in Dublin. With only Wales remaining on their schedule this Saturday in Cardiff, the Boks are on the verge of completing an unbeaten autumn campaign for the second year running. The numbers tell the story of a team operating at an elite level. South Africa have won 12 of the 14 matches they've played so far this year. Their only defeats came during the Rugby Championship, losses to Australia in Johannesburg and New Zealand in Auckland. Even those setbacks, however, didn't derail their season, as they went on to claim the Rugby Championship title, adding yet another trophy to their already bulging cabinet. This level of consistency and the ability to respond to adversity speaks volumes about the character and quality within this squad. Under Erasmus's guidance, since he took charge in the aftermath of a disappointing period for South African rugby, the Boks have been utterly transformed. When he assumed control in 2018, the team was in disarray, confidence was low, and questions were being asked about South African rugby's place in the global pecking order. Fast forward to today, and the trophy haul speaks for itself. Back-to-back World Cup victories in Japan in 2019 and France in 2023. A hard-fought series victory over the British and Irish Lions on home soil in 2021. Rugby championship titles in both 2024 and 2025. This isn't just success, it's dominance on a scale rarely seen in international rugby. When Brits was asked whether South Africa can realistically be stopped from winning their 5th World Cup title and their 3rd in succession, his response was both measured and revealing. He pointed out that the team is currently mid-cycle in their World Cup preparation, but crucially, he reminded everyone that back in 2018, when this journey began, nobody predicted South Africa would go on to win the tournament the following year. The ability to exceed expectations, to prove doubters wrong, and to rise to the biggest occasions has become a hallmark of this era of Springboks rugby. But it was Brits' insight into Erasmus' thinking that really caught the attention. He revealed that the one thing the head coach absolutely hates is complacency and entitlement. These twin dangers, which so often creep into successful teams, are things that Erasmus actively fights against every single day. When you've won as much as this Springboks team has won, when you're sitting at #1 in the world rankings, when you're the reigning world champions, it would be all too easy to relax, to believe that success will continue automatically, to feel entitled to victory. Erasmus refuses to let that happen. Brits explained that Erasmus and his coaching group, along with the players themselves, keep pushing the boundaries. They're constantly looking for ways to improve, to evolve, to stay ahead of the competition. This refusal to rest on their laurels, this hunger to keep getting better even when you're already the best, is what separates good teams from great teams and great teams from dynasties. The Springboks aren't satisfied with what they've already achieved. They want more, and they're willing to do the work required to get it. Perhaps most significantly, Brits touched on the deeper purpose that drives this team. Erasmus regularly reminds the players that it's not just about winning rugby matches or even World Cups. It's about giving hope to their country. South Africa is a nation that faces enormous challenges, inequality, economic hardship, social divisions that run deep. When the Springboks take the field, they represent something bigger than themselves. They represent the possibility of unity, of achievement, of excellence despite adversity. When your motivation is defined that way, when you understand that you're playing for something far greater than personal glory, it transforms the sacrifice required. The training becomes easier to endure. The pressure becomes a privilege rather than a burden. The historical context that Brits provided adds another layer to understanding the significance of what this current team represents. He noted that when South Africa won their first World Cup in 1995, the team was predominantly white. That victory, iconic as it was with Nelson Mandela presenting the trophy to Francois Pienaar, represented a specific moment in South African history. The 2007 triumph in France, with John Smit as captain, was another great achievement. But the demographic makeup of both the team and its support base was still limited. Then came 2019 and the appointment of Siya Kolisi as South Africa's first black captain. That moment changed everything. The diversity of the viewer base has grown exponentially since Kolisi lifted that trophy in Japan. Now every South African, regardless of race, background, or socioeconomic status, sees themselves represented in the Springboks. It's a team that the entire nation can be proud of, a team that truly reflects the rainbow nation that South Africa aspires to be. This broader support base has played a vital role in the team's success because the players understand the weight of what they carry, the responsibility they bear, and the hope they provide to millions of people back home. Looking ahead to the prospect of winning a third consecutive World Cup, Brits emphasized that this would be something that would always be remembered. No team in rugby history has ever achieved 3 World Cups in a row. The All Blacks came close, winning in 2011 and 2015 before falling short in 2019. But to do it 3 times consecutively would elevate this Springboks team into rarefied air, cementing their legacy as perhaps the greatest team in the sport's history. It's a tantalizing goal, one that requires maintaining current standards for another 2 years, and then delivering when it matters most on the biggest stage of all. The journey from 2018 to today has been remarkable, but the journey ahead might be even more challenging. Other nations are improving, learning from South Africa's success, and developing their own strategies to topple the champions. The target on the Boks backs grows larger with every victory. But if Brits' insights are accurate, if Erasmus truly does hate complacency and entitlement as much as suggested, then the Springboks have the right mentality to meet these challenges head-on. As they prepare for their final match of this tour against Wales, the Springboks know that each game is another step on the road to Australia 2027. Every training session, every team meeting, every moment of preparation is building toward that ultimate goal. With Erasmus at the helm, fighting against the complacency that success can breed, and with players who understand they're representing something far bigger than themselves, South Africa have positioned themselves perfectly to pursue rugby immortality. Whether they can actually achieve that unprecedented third consecutive World Cup title remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: they won't fail for lack of motivation, preparation, or understanding of what's at stake.